Hold My Hand actually came about around the time when I was doing the Wanna Be Starting Something for the re-release for his Thriller album. And we were sitting down talking about concepts for his new album itself. And, you know, the image and everything and how he wanted to pretty much, you know, reappear to the audience. And at that moment, that's when I was like, yo, I think I may have the record for you. He said, you kidding me? I said, no, listen, I recorded this record a couple months ago, and this might be perfect. You might want to check it out. And I played him Hold My Hand. And he heard it, and off top, he knew it. He's like, oh, this is it. This is amazing. We got to get in the studio and do this record. And ultimately, that's what ended up happening, you know. He finished all the vocals, added some incredible ad-libs and everything to it. And we just made it more of a MJ record. And I just kept myself on it for the legacy and the history of it, you know. The song was already done and complete. And then he came and re-recorded the lyrics on it, but with the MJ touch, you know. It was, and I would believe it, that was a big touch. Once he laid it, it was out of here, you know. We had a mutual friend named Peter Lopez, and MJ actually reached out to him to reach out to me, and it was one of those situations where he's working on the Michael re-release for the Thriller album, and he wanted me to be a part of it. And one person that he knew that can get a hold of me was Peter Lopez. So he reached out to Peter, and then Peter called me and was like, you know, Mike wants to work with you for the re-release. And I was like, nah, get out of here. He said, no, I'm serious. But see, Peter was a funny guy. He would make pranks and jokes too all the time. So back in my mind, I'm like, oh, he's probably getting me. I'm getting punked. I can feel it. But I'm going to go along with it. He said, yeah, stay by your phone. I'm going to call you back in 15 minutes with him on the line. And of course, I waited, and the call actually came. That's when I then realized, okay, this is really a prank, because he called me in exactly 15 minutes. And when he called me, you know, he's like, yo, you know, Akon, I got MJ on the other line. MJ, this is Akon. So MJ says hi, you know, with his soft voice. Hey, how are you? And I was like, yo, Peter, stop playing, man. And I hung up the phone. And the studio was amazing. And it was crazy because, you know, watching MJ work and being a part of that creation of actually giving him pointers was just the alienest thing ever, you know. I never thought I'd be in the producer's seat in front of a mixing board telling Mike to sing the note like this. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. And then if it was something that he wanted to do, he would ask politely, oh, can I try this? And I was like, you're Michael Jackson, of course, you could try whatever you want to try. But it was just the thought that he would make that, you know, notion to say, you know, is it okay with you? And it was the craziest thing. But the one thing I did realize also, too, is he was a perfectionist. Like, he never settled with one take or one ad-lib or one idea. He would do thousands of those ideas. And then we had to shuffle through them and find the best one. And if we didn't find it, he'll go and do another 1,000. The moment he felt it, because it was about a feeling, and that was the one thing we both had in common. If it felt right, then it was right. Whether it sounded right or not, if it felt right, we wouldn't touch it. The one thing that he always kept in front was the melody, you know. He knew, and that's the one thing that I realized I kind of got it, but didn't really get it until I heard it from him. The way I look at this album, as this is more something that could commemorate him for his legacy and the little that he did leave behind for us before he could actually fully complete the project, you know. Only because he wasn't here to finish it himself. So I wouldn't take this album and put it under pressure to even remotely try to compare it to a Thriller or Off the Wall or Blood on the Dance Floor or whatever kind of album of Mike's before. You know, so the way I look at this album, this record is something that, you know, he left behind to remember him for the legacy leading down. We at least got a chance to understand where he was going. It's no different from the This Is It movie. The tour wasn't done. The show exactly they were still in rehearsal. But we just appreciated the fact that we got to watch what he was about to bring to us in progress. And that's all this is. It's an album in progress that we got a chance to actually visit here and understand where he was headed. But we will never know where the album was eventually going because he wasn't done. I think no matter what they do at this point, it can't affect Mike's legacy. His legacy was way too big. Even if they decided not to put out another Michael Jackson album, you still have a catalog dating all the way back to the 70s that we still can, you know, be able to buy and enjoy. I don't think that any or anything at this moment could affect Mike's legacy. I mean, he's done way too much, influenced way too many artists, and brought way too much to music and society and as a lifestyle itself for any of this to even affect them, let alone an unfinished album. You know what I'm saying? So I don't worry about that at all. If you're a true Michael Jackson fan, you already know that this is you just happy to be able to be a part of what was being created, you know, towards the close, you know, towards the end of his days. You know, the records have already won. They're the reason why I'm here. I was motivated by those records. You know, the biggest artists alive now today were all motivated by MJ and all his records, you know. I think all the records he's done are definitely going to keep moving. I think, you know, you're always going to buy the Thriller albums. You're always going to buy the Off the Wall albums. You're always going to buy all his, I mean, you know, you're going to look back into the Thriller videos and be motivated. Like, he's done everything that an artist can actually do to motivate music and the world doing it.